Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DiLisio, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated games from Tokyo Game Market. If you don't know, Tokyo Game Market is the largest gaming convention in Japan, and it happens twice a year. They have a spring convention and a autumn convention, and so I'm talking about the upcoming spring 2026 Tokyo Game Market. Before I get into my list, I'm going to do a few mentions of games that are not technically part of the list, and I'll explain why, but things that I thought were a bit noteworthy that, so I wanted to mention them. So here we go. First up is Don Quixote. This is coming from Mondu Games. And it is a remake of an earlier trick-taking game, a must-not-follow trick-taking game that I've loved for years called Boast or Nothing. It's going to be re-implemented into a game called Best of Neapolitan, coming from the Portland Game Collective. And then in Japan, they're releasing this other version, different artwork. I actually love the artwork in this Don Quixote version, but I didn't put it on the list because it's a pre-existing game that I've played many, many times over, although I will likely be picking up this edition of it at some point. The other thing from the same publisher is 12 Dice Bets, and this looks to be kind of like in the same vein of an earlier game they did called 12 Chip Trick that I really enjoyed, a trick-taking game with poker chips. But it doesn't look like it's going to be for sale there, so I did not put it on the list. If it turns out that it is for sale there, that's fantastic, and it would have made the list, but from what I can tell, it's not. At this point, I'll also mention I will not be going this year. I went for the first time ever last year, and I had an amazing time, but while I won't be going, I do have some friends who will be there that may be able to pick up a couple of these for me. The other one I was going to mention is President Maker. This is from Pluto Games, and I actually already have a copy of this game. It's available right now in the United States, and so I picked up a copy of that, and I'll actually be doing a review of it on the channel here relatively soon. All right, let's get right into the list then after that little preamble. So at number 10 is Swing and Roll. And Swing and Roll is coming from Silver Gun Games, a publisher that I've played some games of theirs and I've liked. I think I actually reviewed at least one of them. We've done some playthroughs of them about meerkats and quokka. If I'm pronouncing that animal correctly. This is a baseball-themed game, a two-player game where one player is playing as a pitcher, one player is playing as a batter, and the batter is trying to predict where the pitcher is going to be pitching, which zone of the strike zone. And so there's a little bit of this kind of like getting in each other's heads of where it's going to be. Once you've established whether the pitcher or the batter won that particular matchup, then you're going to be rolling dice and triggering some kind of an effect. It looks really interesting. Baseball is a huge sport in Japan, and I do like seeing games with this baseball theme. You don't see it a whole lot, so looking forward to that one. At number 9 is In Order to Chance from Quoth Games. And this is a game that has an auction at its heart. And I love auction games. Looks like you're going to have like a river of cards that are going to be auctioned on by players. Players are going to be bidding with cards that they have in their hand. And there's actually going to be two winners of the auction. You're going to have the person who played the highest value or bid the highest value. And then the second winner will be the person to the left or the right of the person who won that played the highest bid amongst them. So an interesting twist. Once you get these cards, you're going to be then placing them into kind of a tableau in front of you with some placement rules. Looks very, very interesting. That is In Order to Chance. At number 8 is Masquerade Trick Party. And this is a game that looks very intriguing because while it has kind of a traditional trick-taking, must-follow trick-taking at its core, it also has secret goals or secret roles that players are going to be assigned. And you're trying to complete two different missions, one during the daytime, which is when you're kind of playing and taking the tricks, and one during the nighttime where you're trying to guess what the roles of the person are for that round. So, maybe one round you're trying to guess this particular role. If you can guess that right and have been able to fulfill your daytime mission. You're going to get points. It just looks very interesting to me. I always like games that take trick-taking and add some little wrinkle to it. There's going to be some other games like that on this list, actually. So number 7 is Agent Black, and this is coming from Olin Games. I have played some other games from this publisher that I've enjoyed, and this one is a deduction/party game for 2 to 6 players. You're playing over 3 rounds, and you're trying to, you have 3 cards that are going to be establishing your identity, who you are, where you are, things along those lines, and trying to deduce who is what identity. I love the look of the game. It has a really great art style. Like most of the games from Olin Game Studio, I've really liked the way they look. And so this one is no different in that sense. And I like deduction games. This one looks like it's going to be, kind of a lighter end of those. I'm all for it. And number 6 is The Four Deuces. This is coming from Schemers Games, and this is the imprint of the designer Kunnil, a fantastic trick-taking designer. Among other games, he actually designed an 18xx game, but mostly known for trick-taking games, and within trick-taking games, mostly known for 2-player trick-taking games, has designed a number of well-acclaimed trick-taking games, maybe most known for Jekyll vs. Hyde, but has designed several trick-taking games, mostly 2-player. The Four Deuces has this amazing kind of Western, Old West art style, but very stylized. I love the look of that. It's going to be 2-player trick-taking, but with dice as well. And as many of Kunnil's games have, it's going to have kind of this trick hierarchy, suit hierarchy that's going to be dynamic throughout the game. So it looks like another banger from Kunnil. I'm very much looking forward to The Four Deuces. At number 5 is Many Stories Mansion, and this is coming from Jupiter's Club. Jupiter's Club is this collective of designers, and they really do interesting stuff. They also do very interesting things with packaging. Last year, they had a game called Match Fixers High that came in basically a can, like a beverage can that you would unscrew. This game comes in some type of, almost looks like a jar, but within that kind of wacky packaging are some really interesting games. And this is one that looks to fulfill that same kind of thing. You're going to be gaining cards that are going to be basically pieces of a mansion that you're going to be building, okay? And the cards don't have any numbers on them. They only have colors. And as you're getting these cards, they're going to kind of be like building from the bottom up. Think of it as like Tetris style. So when you are dropping these cards, you're going to be having them kind of stack on top of other cards that have been previously played. And the cards, the colors of the cards are going to relate to a particular polyomino style shape. And if you can get the cards to actually get in that shape within your mansion, you're going to get bonus points, things along those lines. Really intriguing idea, a very kind of unique and kind of out there art style. Many other games have this. And so I'm very much looking forward to Many Stories Mansion. At number 4 is Pizza Otter Double Bingo. You heard me right. Pizza Otter Double Bingo. This is coming from Okazu Games and designer Hisashi Hayashi, one of the best designers, board game designers, period, taking out of just among Japanese designers, just within game designers, well known for many, many games internationally. And this looks to be at least a thematic follow-up to a game that came out at last year's Tokyo Game Market called Pizza Otter. Sushi Otter. I've got pizza on the brain. Sushi Otter, which is kind of a riff on poker, a game that I own and very much enjoy. I may be reviewing at some point here in the future on the channel. This one doesn't look to have anything really. Maybe the dice might match up with Poker-esque a little bit, but this is a game where you've got, it's a roll and write style game where you're going to have 5x5 grids on 2 different sheets, and you're going to roll dice, 2 dice, I believe, and you're going to pick the values on one of those two dice, and you're going to place that value somewhere in this grid, but you have to put it in the same space on both sheets. And so there's going to be kind of, scoring that is relative to that. It looks very simple, kind of a basic roll and write game, but I don't know. Hisashi Hayashi finds ways to get really compelling gameplay out of a very simple rule set, and I'm expecting no different for Pizza Otter Double Bingo. All right. At number 3, and I don't know the pronunciation on this, it's either mate or mate, and this is coming from Vic Village. And Vic Village is the imprint of the designer Leo and the artist, I believe, Higowind. And Leo is just rapidly becoming one of my favorite card game designers. She has done just amazing games, probably most well known for Vivo because that's been picked up by All Play Games here in the States. But that's just one of many, many fantastic, primarily trick-taking, sometimes shedding games that Leo has designed. And this one looks somewhat similar to one that came out last year, Kate, where you are cats making lattes. Here, this one is themed around dogs. I'm just kind of looking at my notes here to kind of remind me what we had going on here. But this is one where you are trying to win tricks. It's a trick-taking game, but you're only trying to win them on certain rounds. So you've got cards that you're going to be flipping over that either say stay or go. And if you win a trick on a stay round, you're going to get negative points. But if you win a trick on a go round, you're going to get positive points. And so very simple. It seems like not a terribly complex riff on a traditional trick-taking game. But again, Leo has just really, really designed some of my favorite card games. So very much looking forward to that. Number 2 is Railway Porters from another one of my favorite designers on the planet, and that is Sashi, coming from Sashi and Sashi Games, of course. This is another fantastic looking game where you're going to be having some simultaneous dice placement, and you're going to be getting a number of boards at the beginning of the game, and you're going to be placing these dice on these boards. Simultaneous dice placement, love that idea. There's an interaction point between other players, which you don't often see in these types of games. That looks very intriguing to me. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Sashi puts out a game like this that kind of is like one of these dice placement style games or mid kind of weight type games. And I'm on board because I've yet to really be disappointed. So there's no reason to believe that this is going to be any different. I'm super excited about Railway Porters. And the only reason it's not number 1 on my list is because number 1 on my list is coming from my favorite trick-taking designer of all time, who I feel is the best trick-taking designer of all time, Taiki Shinzawa, art by Sai Beppu. As a matter of fact, Sai did the art on, I believe, several of these games so far. This is called Can't Win, and this is coming from N Games. This is, it just looks like another fantastic trick-taking game from Taiki Shinzawa. And most of Taiki's games involve predicting of bids. You see that in most of Taiki's games, where you have to predict the number of bids you're going to win at the end of the round. And what that does, in addition to that, I should say, what this game does is it adds this can't win restriction that you as a player choose at the beginning of the round. So basically, you're restricting yourself from winning tricks from some type of, like maybe you can't win with a particular type of card or a particular value of card. You couldn't win a trick that way. And again, I just love this idea that you're placing this restriction among yourself or upon yourself. It's just a neat trick. It's a neat little hook. And that's what Taiki Shinzawa's games really do is they take usually a pretty traditional structure, have some kind of element of trick prediction, and then add a little twist. And I'm here for it. Can't Win just looks fantastic. So there you go. There's my 10 most anticipated games from Tokyo Game Market Spring. Hundreds of games get released. And it was very difficult to kind of bring it down to 10. There's certainly some I've missed, but for right now, these are games that I am most anticipating for this particular round of the Tokyo Game Market. All right, there you have it. I'm Mike DiLisio, and hopefully I'll be around for the next Tokyo Game Market video.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassel.